12th annual convocation of the Redeemer'S University. My name is Toby Ani.
And my name is Sharon Aruna.
Thank you, Sharon, for joining me. I heard that yesterday was such an amazing time. I learned that there was the Thanksgiving service in the morning, and then in the evening, the visitor to the university, Pastor Ye Adeboye, fondly called Daddy Gio, had a meeting with the graduates, and I heard that it was such an amazing time. However, today we will be having the convocation lecture, and that will be delivered by Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika is the chairman of First Bank Nigeria Limited. Do you remember your convocation lecture?
Yeah, actually. It was just about this time last year, or maybe a bit earlier. It was taken by Mrs. Tomi Shomefon, and it was actually a very awesome one.
Oh, interesting. It seems like there is a trend of bankers, taking the convocation lecture because Mrs. Tomi Shomefon is the managing director of Unity Bank. Interesting. Today's convocation lecture promises to be inspiring because usually the convocation lecture sets the tone, as a charge to inspire graduates and also to educate the university community at large on current issues that are happening. We believe that we would have an inspiring moment today, but we would go and take some documentaries right now, and we'll be back for some further conversations. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I am Kemi Adebayo. I am a BSc Mass Communication graduate from the Redeemer'S University. I graduated in 2011, and about a year afterwards I went for my MSc in Mass Communication as well. I'm presently the chief editor of KemiFilani.ng, one of the topmost news platform sites in Nigeria today. I actually started the platform as a blog, I think about 2013-14 thereabouts, as a blog that focused just on majorly weddings and lifestyle. But to the glory of God and by God's grace, we have now evolved. We are now a full-fledged news site with millions of seeking readers daily. One has impacted my life in so many ways, especially when it comes to integrity. And today I can proudly boast that because of Ron, I don't joke with integrity, and it has also helped me in my blogging business. We have now become a trusted site. We are known for being honest. We don't do fake news, and whatever we post on our platform is always the truth. Majorly, even many of our staff too, we've taught them and trained them to make sure whatever they do or post is always the truth. And this is because of what I have learned in Ron and how Ron has impacted me. Also, Ron impacted and taught us to be able to stand out and compete out there without having a low self-esteem. My lecturers in my department, from Mr. Ifeduba to Mr. Nwifa, the late Mr. Efune, so rest in peace, they were all thorough in their lectures and all, and it has really impacted my life positively. I hope someday soon, by the time I'm blessed enough, I intend giving back a building or two to Redeemer'S University, and so help me God. So students that are in the school presently, there's life outside school. Whatever you think you're seeing, it's just the tip of an iceberg. The real life is after school. So I would advise that you try and stay focused now. Make utmost and positive use of the time you have now while still in school. And then, more importantly, do not leave God out of your endeavors, because everything is just, don't leave God out of your endeavors. Stay focused. Make ultimate positive use of your time. Thank you so much.
My name is Kenneth Obi-Ajulu. I'm a graduate of Redeemer'S University, class of 2010, Department of Economics and Business Studies. Program is Marketing. So I have a professional qualification from the Institute of Marketing, postgraduate diploma, and also chartered from the institute, and also studying for my MBA in leading innovation and change from York St. John University in the UK. So I like to categorize myself as an agribusiness specialist that builds disruptive, innovative models across agriculture, technology, and food systems. I've worked for a couple of remarkable organizations. I started with Nigerian Breweries, worked with Rockefeller Foundation on the Food Loss and Waste program, worked with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on the State Partnership for Agriculture program across 3 states in Nigeria. Also worked with the World Bank as an agribusiness innovation specialist, responsible for developing the framework for one of their projects, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. And was with Farm Crowdy as the Managing Director, and currently I serve as the Chief Executive Officer for One Capital, based here in the UAE, where I connect African startups and agribusiness specialists and companies, both in the food tech space, agri-tech space, to major businesses and investors in Dubai and generally the Middle East. What do I love about Redeemer'S University? I mean, what's there not to love about Redeemer'S University? Of my great friends that we have together been able to develop some amazing partnerships and relationships, meaningful relationships, both for work and both for, just knocking heads together to see, to live life together, right? One of the things that I would never really forget about Redeemer'S University would be the friendship that we have been able to develop over time. One of the memorable experiences that I've had in Redeemer'S University probably would be the Ronsa Carnival. I think when it started sometime in 2008, 2009, was able to bring together various people in various faculties, programs. It was quite that unity, that diversity in the various programs we got to interact with ourselves, we got to meet ourselves outside of our faculty. And I think that was a remarkable program. My personal goals in life is, I personally believe that Africa will be feeding the world by 2050, right? I believe that the next biggest food tech, agri-tech company in the world would come from Africa. As such, my role is to ensure that Africa is positioned to be able to feed the world by 2050. And that's what One Capital is focused towards, investing in African startups in the food space, in the technology space, anything that can guarantee us to be able to solve this food security challenge for 2050. So that's my personal goal, and those are one of the things that I see and keeps me moving every single day. What words do I have for both the graduating class and also the students in Redeemer'S University? Is the fact that the world is waiting for you. The opportunities are bound. We're here to support you in every way that we can. Leverage on the relationships that you have with RONSA, with the Alumni Association, and its relationship officers in Redeemer'S University. We're here to support you in all ways that we can. And we pray that everything that you lay your hands on will be fruitful in the mighty name of Jesus. So thank you so much for the privilege of communicating and sharing my thoughts with you. And we look forward to better interactions, both with the graduating class and also to find opportunities for us to also come back to Redeemer'S University and have, one-on-one interactions, even with the current students of the institution. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best in life.
My name is Matthew Oyebode. I'm a graduate of computer science. I graduated the year 2015 as part of the Triumphant class. I currently hold a master's in information technology security, and I'm a member of the International Information Security Consortium. I'm a cybersecurity analyst in a top financial institution in North America, where I coordinate a team who manages the security posture of the organization. Ron impacted my life. My story cannot be complete today without mentioning how much Ron has impacted me. Firstly, it was in Ron that I developed a strong culture of discipline. Discipline in the sense that the ability, to juggle several things together and still be able to come up tops in all those things you're juggling together with, with one thing not affecting the other. Ron built that in me. Ron made me to see that, oh yes, you can do it, and it requires discipline, and I got that from Redeemer'S University. Also an attitude of excellence. Excellence is a culture, right from the academic staff to the non-academic staff to the people you see in your hostel. There's this culture of excellence and this attitude of excellence that you just imbibe naturally, which I got that from Redeemer'S University. Also a culture of honor. Ron teaches you how to honor everyone, regardless of who they are, regardless of their status, regardless of where they came from or their background, because Ron is like a leveler for everyone, and you honor people, you appreciate your social interaction with people, and also the place of relationships. In Redeemer'S University, it's not just your books and your certificate. You also have to get to meet several people. You get to meet several of your friends, several people outside your circle, and Ron, brought me that social kind of feeling, and till today I'm still grateful for the relationships I'm able to I came across with when I was at Redeemer'S University. Some of my very closest friends today are people I met while I was staying in Redeemer'S University. What do I appreciate most in Ron? The combination of both the spiritual and the academic culture. This was so easy for me to appreciate immediately I left Redeemer'S University. Right from my NYSC, I saw the way others were from other university viewed life, their perspective, their worldview, and I sincerely appreciate Ron for imbibing that culture of being able to balance both your spiritual life and your academic life or your social life all together at once. It's something that is very rare, and I'm sincerely grateful to Ron for that. And what do I miss about Ron? It's quite easily to guess from what I appreciate most. So I miss them so much about Ron. That place of fellowship, that social interaction, that gathering, that social environment, and I miss so much. I'm in a place where I don't even get to see everybody at every time, but so that even makes me to appreciate that bonding or that family culture that we have over there in Redeemer'S University. My goal and my vision to be one of the foremost cybersecurity consultants in the world. Just recently we saw how several private and public institutions in Nigeria were being affected by cybersecurity attacks. It's such a shame that we've not grown to have such kind of infrastructure, and one of my goals is to be part of that people that will build that infrastructure in Nigeria. I want to give back to Rob because all over the world we see there's a very low number of cybersecurity professionals globally, and I want to see a way to bridge that gap, especially from this part of the world, which from Nigeria, and using Ron as a place where I can start with. So I want to see a way to have it like a cybersecurity center to encourage people to jump into the cybersecurity industry, not just people limited to the IT world. And I'm already talking, with some of my colleagues who are also graduating in Redeemer'S University, who are also in the cybersecurity industry, to see how can we help to bridge that gap. And if you watch out, is under works, it's in the pipeline, and soon, very soon, something will come out of it soon. My words of encouragement to everyone who is still a student in Redeemer'S University: don't just focus on your academics alone, which is very good. I would advise you, please do that very well, but also learn to value the relationship, build relationships, solid relationships. Relationship is your social capital, when you leave the university. So build your relationship, and you will be so amazed that even what beyond your certificate will do for you. The kind of relationship you build will also take you very far in life.
Congratulations to the Redeemer'S University graduating class of 2020. Despite the backdrop of the global pandemic, you have not wavered in your commitment to excellence. You did it. You have made your family proud, and you have made us all proud. I wish you a very big congratulations. My name is Orela Rodari Felix. Just like you, I graduated 9 years ago from the Department of Microbiology, and today I am a practicing physician in the United States of America. Redeemer'S University helped shape me and provided me with the toolkits I needed to succeed today and adapt in a constantly evolving world. There are 4 fundamental lessons I gained while at the Redeemer'S University. I was able to build a sound moral character. Redeemer'S University helped me to commit to hard work and strive for moral excellence. I developed a close and deep relationship with God. I also developed lifelong relationships with classmates that have now turned family. Thank you to this great and extraordinary university, class of 2020. I want to reassure you that you have received a world-class education that emphasizes moral character and spiritual discipline. This will serve you well as you transition to the real world. I miss the days at Redeemer'S University Chapel, where we get to worship God all day long. I relish the memory of serving as a Bible study HOD, as this has helped strengthen my relationship with God. I also miss those days where we studied all day and all night at the library. Now I'm in a profession where I have to be a lifelong learner. And all thanks to Redeemer'S University for helping me build strength, character, and resilience. I want to reassure you, graduating class of 2020, that you will do well anywhere you go, because Redeemer'S University has prepared you. You are ready to change the world. My future goal is to return someday to Nigeria to serve my community and Africa at large. Hopefully, someday, I can collaborate with other Redeemer'S University alumni. I also hope to give back to the university because it has immensely contributed to my success in life. My advice to the current student is to enjoy this time because it's going to fly by so quickly. Build lifelong relationships. Work really hard because these are the foundational years of your life. Get closer to God, as this will help you go far in life. Class of 2020, very big congratulations to you. You have made it. Take some time to celebrate with friends and family, and always remember that you have the toolkit to change the world for God. Class of 2020, very big congratulations.
The Redeemer'S University was started as a vision of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The aim from onset was that the way education was going in the country was not what we thought it should be. There was so much decadence, there was so much problems. Schools were not open on time. You never know when you're going to graduate. And so the idea was that Redeemed Church should start something and lay a good example, with the kind of university we'll have. In 2004, I think, I can't remember, I got a call that the General Overseer said, "You are our first Vice Chancellor." And when the man said it, I just laughed and I said, "What are you talking about?" He said he wanted an answer, but I then said, I didn't even bother to answer him. I just kept laughing. In the evening that day, he then called because I didn't have his number on my phone. I didn't know who was calling me. And so when he called, he said, "You left, you called this morning." And I said, "Me? I didn't call anybody." And then he said, "This is Pastor Adeboye." Oh, yeah, sorry, sir. I mean, yes, I did. This and that. And then the next thing he said that he sent somebody to me to say, "You are our first Vice Chancellor," and they said I was laughing. I said yes, and I'm still laughing because it wasn't something I was thinking about. And then he said something. He said, "I just want you to know that I am only a messenger." So at that point I stopped and then said, "Okay, give me time to think about it," because when he says he's a messenger, automatically you know who sent him. It wasn't a human being or anybody who sent him. It must have been a divine call.
Timiovede committed himself to giving the Redeemed Christian Church of God 500 hectares of land. And way back then in 1982, the land was designated for the use of Redeemer'S University. But at that time, there was no enabling law for the establishment of private universities. Only the federal government and state governments could establish institutions of higher learning. But then, with time, an opening came, and there was another decree that was promulgated, which gave room for private individuals and organizations to run institutions of higher learning. And so in September year 2000, the Redeemed Christian Church of God submitted applications to the National Universities Commission for the establishment of Redeemer'S University.
The university took off at the Redemption Camp on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. And then when we started with a group of students, like 400 students, and a few staff members. And we all regarded ourselves as a big family, happy big family, where everyone knew one another.
I joined the university in October 2nd, 2018 as the Vice Chancellor. And when I joined the university, we then had 6 faculties. And to the glory of God, today we have 8 faculties. We have 2 new faculties, namely Faculty of Engineering and then Faculty of Environmental Studies. Also, in terms of infrastructure, we have a Faculty of Engineering completed now, and hopefully in this new session we are going to start some departments there. For example, we are going to have architecture, we are going to have environmental studies, urban and regional planning, and then we are going to have also estate management and a few other departments we start.
I came to work and had to put some things in place for the effectiveness of that office and fulfilling that purpose. Since it's meant to be a faith-based university driven by God's interest, God helping me by His Spirit, we came up to put some structures in place, have morning devotion. Incidentally, that has been in place before I came, so we just fine-tuned it. And then we had to also enlist the interest of some of the staff to assist us in the chaplaincy in running that assignment.
In year 2012, the campus at Ede was close to a jungle, just no building, just forest, trees, and farmlands. But by the time we moved in 2012, there were buildings, there were structures, but no water, no electricity, no roads, no internet, no drainage. It wasn't looking like a university campus, no. But within a few years, the Lord transformed. He helped us to transform that university to a serene and beautiful, enjoyable campus. So the period 2014 to 2016, this period I will describe it as years of strategic grace.
The bursary department, in line with the vision and mission of the university, has upheld in the performance of our functions, has upheld the vision of the university in the area of excellence, service delivery, and impacting the society. The bursary department last year held a bursary week in which we gave some of our students scholarship, and we empowered some of them in their entrepreneurial skill. We also went as far as impacting the community around. We empowered some of the less privileged in the society.
Since I came in here, we have ensured that there is proper relationship between the students and the staff. Proper and harmonious relationship between management and even alumni. We relate freely with them, and if they have any issue, they relate easily with us.
The university has moved on to enter into other strategic alliances. We have partnership with Johns Hopkins. We have with A3 Africa. We have with MIT. We have with United States Disease Control. Also, we have with African Center for Disease Control. And recently, as part of its standing contribution to global health, the WHO, World Health Organization, has just certified Redeemer'S University as one of the reference centers for diagnosing of the world's deadliest diseases.
Working in Redeemer'S University, I can say, is the best thing that ever happened to me. When I applied to Redeemer'S University in 2004, around September 2004, that was when the advert first came out. I applied reluctantly because I was of the opinion that working with a mission institution, you may not be able to express yourself. You may not be able to express yourself as expected. But coming here, I can say I was disappointed. Disappointed in the sense that what I thought would happen is not happening at all in Redeemer'S University. I never expected a mission institution, to be so flexible and so accommodating of all kinds of creeds and religion, and even whatever your inclination.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the documentary. I will be discussing the theme of the convocation lecture with Sharon today. The theme for this convocation lecture is entrepreneurship, agriculture, and youth empowerment. This is such an important topic, and it's so pivotal, seeing that the youths, especially in Nigeria, have, suddenly been a bit vocal about the state of the country and many other things. So I think this topic is coming at a very, very pivotal time. What do you think about the topic? What does, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and youth empowerment mean to you?
Well, I agree about how pivotal this particular topic is, especially with the state of the economy and Nigeria as a whole. I think entrepreneurship, agriculture, and youth empowerment really go hand in hand, because looking at the state of Nigeria right now, there's really no jobs, there's little or nothing to do, but there's agriculture, there's land, and also entrepreneurship. It's more than just starting a business. It's more than just, I'm a CEO of something. Because I feel like that the term has been thrown around.
Yeah, it's now a buzzword.
Like chief errand officer, or what exactly are you? Because you're selling like a couple of slippers. But it's actually very important for us to be able to talk about youth empowerment. And I know that you are into agriculture as well. And I want to get your own perspective on what the entire agricultural aspect has to do with youth empowerment.
That's interesting. So really, I mean, I know I read an article where the African Development Bank had said that Africa will feed the world by 2015 because Africa accounts for about 60% arable land in the entire world. And, when you have such large expanse of land, which is one of the basic requirements, to play in that agricultural space, it's just important that you harness some of the possibilities in that space. But much more than even doing the mechanical agriculture, which is maybe planting or animal husbandry, I think that there are places within the supply chain of agriculture that young people should be looking at, especially because these young people are more tech savvy. We can use creativity and innovation to solve problems, and I think that's where the youth population really plays an important role. You are young, and really, what's entrepreneurship? It's just solving problems in exchange for value. In those days, they did trade by barter, but now we have like standardized store of value, which is gold, dollars, or in recent time cryptocurrencies. So I think that young people should actually be thinking about storage, processing, because there's a difference between a raw material and a processed goods. So it's great to have, youth involvement in agriculture. But I think that I want to see more young people play in the space of processing some of the raw materials. If you think about it, I don't know if you did any graduate internship. They pay interns a stipend. But as soon as you graduate, you get a full offer, you get allowances. The difference between an intern and a graduate is raw material and finished product. So we can plant 20 hectares of cocoa, but once we don't export chocolates, we are losing out, as a country and as a people, So those are like the base of my thoughts generally. But another thing that, interests me is, this categorization that they see, that, older people seem to say, oh, the young people just want jobs that are flashy or want to work in the tech company. The agriculture is not flashy enough. I don't know. I think it's an unfair label. What do you think?
I think it's because of a stereotype that has already been established around agriculture. Because when I was growing up, and my mom goes, I used to go to the farm. Before I go to school in the morning, I'll first go to the farm.
Oh, yes,
and I come back
like
from school. I'm thinking, okay, so you want me to become a laborer, or what exactly do you want me to be clawing on my hands and knees? But because of the way technology has evolved, there's different ways that you can actually go into the agricultural sector.
Yeah.
And it's actually been made easier right now. So you can literally have machines do a whole lot of work.
True.
Especially if you have large mass of land. And I think agriculture, for me, it's not something I would personally want to venture into, but I would like to invest in it so that I can always receive my returns. And then when you're talking about how the older generation want us to somehow, go into more hard-working jobs, I think it's because of the fact that now we realize that we don't need to do so much to be able to get paid.
Right.
And that's where someone once told me that entrepreneurship is more than just creating your own business, right? It's finding a problem and then being the solution, creating a solution. That way you're doing something that you love, and at the same time you're getting paid for it. And I think that's something that needs to be taught. I think that's where learning, unlearning, and relearning comes in, especially for the older generation. But, everybody with their own different
opinions.
about certain things.
I absolutely agree with that. There's one part of the topic that we've not touched on really, which is youth empowerment. I think that the government of Nigeria has really bastardized that phrase, youth empowerment, because everybody just throws out youth empowerment like it's like a campaign cliche. But I have my thoughts, but I just want to hear your thoughts on what you think youth empowerment is.
Honestly, speaking about that youth empowerment, I literally got like 3 BCs yesterday saying the government wants to empower youths with 75 million or something. Okay. So you need to sign up and all these things. But I'm like, what exactly is this youth empowerment the government is talking about? And I'm looking at it from their own perspective. It just feel like, okay, you're going to give me money and expect that I'm supposed to use it to do something, beneficial. Mm-hmm. But then we're also not putting into consideration that there's so many people that do not have money management skills.
True.
But that's another topic for another day.
True.
So when we talk about youth empowerment, basically, I feel, in my own opinion, is when you allow or you give the youth space to be able to grow and not just, confine them into a certain stereotype or whatever. So if I know that I can grow in this basis, I read something on Instagram yesterday, and someone said that they were pitching the idea of taking certain things to the cloud. Okay. And someone said, what happens when it rains? I'm like, okay. So, what exactly are we, because if we're going to be empowering the youth, then we need to also really sit down and restructure, especially when it comes to a country like Nigeria. There is no way that we can really, youth empowerment for me is giving the youths freedom to be able to express themselves and also allow them to use their own free thinking, free-spirited methods of doing things to be able to, develop and make Nigeria, Africa, and the whole world a better place. So it's a whole lot of restructuring needs to take place. So for me, youth empowerment is just really all about freedom, but not necessarily freedom in you can do anything you want to do, that kind of thing.
I think it's a valid point that you raised, talking about creating an enabling environment where young people can thrive and dream and be all that they want to be. I also agree with that. And in addition to that, I think that youth empowerment is also teaching some set of values, instilling some sort of self-identity, self-worth. Because I think that from the general perception, people think that youth empowerment speaks to financial freedom or economic power. And you rightly said that you can give somebody money and they lose it.
Exactly.
Interestingly, I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and we're talking about an investment that we did 2 years ago, invested millions of naira, and we lost everything. Wow. At the time, it was like the world was going to end because that was like all your savings, gone down the drain. But, thinking about it, I was like, so why didn't we, resort to crime or start doing something illegal? But I think that it was based on some of our values or some of the fact that we had a positive self-awareness, knowing that, okay, we lost this money, but we will work hard, we'll make it again, and we'll give it another try, But if you look at, piggyback on the recent NSAS protest, if you look at the people that the government is tagging, or the press or the media is tagging hoodlums and thugs, they are young people.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
live in our communities, but you could give them 1,500 or 2,000 naira and instruct them to go and cause mayhem. So it means that even if you give such person or such individual a tangible amount of money to do something, their minds are sort of, short-circuited, that they might not see beyond the next meal.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's, entrepreneurship comes in. You remember this Chinese adage that says if you give a man fish, you fed him for a day, But if you teach him to fish, you fed him for life. So as much as it's important to empower people financially, I think there's also that place of passing down values, creating enabling environments, like you said, and many other things. You want to say something?
No, I think I was just going to agree with you. You're very, very right.
Great.
Because values are really, really important. It's not just about the space also.
Okay, so if you're going to say one sentence to the graduates and the university community, what would it be?
Put me on the spot. Well, just don't give up, honestly. When I graduated, I had so many things that I thought would fall into place, but the only thing I have to say is don't give up, because definitely things are going to come up here and there. Or just put it at the back of your mind that as long as you have hope and you have faith, and then also, I don't want to spiritualize this, but then it's so important to believe in God and just, hold on to that hope that there's definitely going to be a better tomorrow.
Great, absolutely. I have nothing to add. Don't give up. Nigeria will rise. So we would now go to the Convocation Lecture Studio, where we will take the convocation lecture from Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika.
Ibukun Awoshika is the chairman First Bank of Nigeria Limited. She is also the founder and CEO of the Chess Center Group. She chairs a number of corporate and non-for-profit boards. Ibukun is a graduate of chemistry from the University of Ife, Nigeria, an alumna of the Chief Executive Program of Lagos Business School, the Global Executive MBA of IESE Business School, and the Global CEO Program of Wharton, IESE, and China European International Business School. Ibukun is a multiple award-winning entrepreneur and the 2020 recipient of the Forbes Women Africa Chairperson Award. Ibukun has established several projects towards raising entrepreneurs to create jobs for the large unemployed youthful population in her dear country, Nigeria. An ordained pastor and founder of the Christian Missionary Fund, Ibukun, through the faith-based organization, works with missionaries spread across Nigeria by providing them with medical and educational supplies. Please welcome Ibukun Awoshika.
Hello. It's really my pleasure to congratulate all the graduates of today on the convocation ceremony of the Redeemer'S University and also on the 15th anniversary of the university. I know what it's like to have signed up for a course, to walk through the many years with hopes and aspirations, especially of this kind of grade that you'd like to make so that you can graduate with flying colors and be able to get the kind of job or opportunities that you're interested in. And for your families that are celebrating with you, I congratulate the families for seeing you through, for the sacrifices of paying for you to go to a good university, and for the love, the encouragement, and the support that our families have supported. To the faculty and the family of the Redeemer'S University, congratulations, because it's one thing to start the process of nurturing these young people, but to see them be nurtured to completion, that's for you, I believe, is also a joy. And that only ends one stage in their lives, because it's now about what they do with it and how they face life and make something of what they've been able to gain in terms of this season. It's important, to tell you, the graduates, that this is an enabler. The course you have completed and the certificate that you will receive today only enables you to do other things. It's not an end in itself. The certificate in itself will amount to nothing except that you apply yourself to use the knowledge that you have learnt in this place, but more than the knowledge, more than the academic knowledge, to use the other types of knowledge, learning to live with other people, learning to interact with other people, learning to engage other people with a positive tone, learning to collaborate, learning various other skills that you would have learned in the course of your years in this university. Taking all that combined with your academic knowledge into the world as a starting point for what you can do with yourself. Your future can in some ways be defined by the degree that you receive today, but in many ways it would be about everything combined with the degree that you receive that your life will be defined. The university has chosen a theme and a focus for this particular graduation, largely because they're thinking of the way the world is right now and the changes in terms of opportunities for young graduates. Years ago, as you graduated out of the university, you were confident of a job waiting for you as to what to do. But we all live with the times and the seasons of our own lives. And it doesn't make it any worse simply because your time and your season is different from the time and the season that others have had before you. What is important is that you are equipped to stand up and take up the challenges of your own time and your own season, and that you have the ability to think through how to apply yourself to make something of yourself despite whatever situation is around you right now. Luckily enough, every other graduate from every other university in Nigeria, especially around you, is subject to the same scenarios that you are subject to. And having gone to a private university, you have probably had a very consistent future-focused education, which in itself would empower you and make you a lot more competitive than maybe some of your peers that have gone to universities that might not have had the resources or the organization to give you the tools that are more future-looking. Now, the theme for today, as chosen by the university, is focused on agriculture, entrepreneurship, and youth empowerment. For me, if I unbundle the topic, I would take entrepreneurship as the anchor, because agriculture is only one area of the economy where an entrepreneur can play. And when you talk in terms of empowering young people, you can empower young people in diverse fields based on their own interest and the opportunities that they have the capacity to take advantage of. And what entrepreneurship offers you is the opportunity for self-expression and self-actualization in diverse fields in a way that you are creating solutions for the problems that you see. Now, the difference is it's not your hobby. It's expressing yourself in a way that it is economically viable. That's what entrepreneurship offers you. Looking at the challenges around you, solving the problems in an economically viable and sustainable way, whilst you are expressing yourself. So what are the key things that are important in terms of you as a graduate of whatever degree? You know, personally, I believe that every Nigerian university needs to offer entrepreneurship the same way that they offer like general knowledge in English, GNS, or any of those kind of courses that you have. It should be a course that is common to every student of every university. You must take different courses in entrepreneurship throughout your program in the university. Why is that important? Because whether you're a pharmacist or you're a doctor or you're an engineer or whatever field you graduate in, let's take a doctor for example. The day the doctor decides to set up a private hospital or a private enterprise around his medical knowledge, except when he's directly seeing clients or seeing patients using his medical knowledge, then he's a doctor. But outside of that, the whole process of building that medically centered business is an enterprise. And at that point, that doctor is acting as an entrepreneur. And if that doctor does not have the fundamental knowledge that is required in being able to build a business and build it successfully, you can be sure that the smartest doctors in the world will set up businesses that will fail. And honestly, if you walk around Nigeria, you will see many smart doctors, doctors that people would testify are great in whatever field that they have chosen to specialize in. But in terms of running their hospital successfully, many of them have failed. So there are many just there hospitals that are just there. The doctor is great, but the business side of it is not doing well. So that tells us that it's important at this point in time, especially at a time and a season when we have a huge population of young people. We're a country of young people. If you have over 65% of your population under 40, you're a country of young people. And worse still, if you have such a swelling population of young people and we do not have enough economic activities to engage them, we do not have enough jobs for them, that then definitely requires that we have a responsibility to create job creators. And who are job creators? Entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs are those who build businesses, and in building those businesses, they create job opportunities for their peers and for other people who are then engaged and employed in those enterprises. And the more successful those enterprises are, the better for the economy of the nation, also the better for the opportunities that they can create. I mean, I'm sure you all heard of recent of 2 young men who 5 years ago didn't own a company, but 5 years ago, they applied their tech interest and their tech knowledge to solve a problem, a payment problem that they saw. And in doing that, they created a company called Paystack. If you create the right solution through your ideation process, you will find the right kind of support to nurture the idea into success, which is what happened to them. They had a great idea to solve a problem that they encountered, and that problem they realized was also a problem that many other people would like solved, and people were willing to pay for that service. And they found partners, both local and international, who then supported them to build the company forward. And in a period of 5 years, from zero to a $200 million company created by 2 young Nigerian gentlemen, that tells you what is possible. And now that is one high end of it. Every company is not going to be a $200 million company in 5 years, but every business can start from ground zero based on a good idea. And a good idea is always an idea that is solving a problem that people can see. But even better still is when the idea solves a problem that people are willing to pay for. Because sometimes you solve ideas that you can only offer in the form of charity. That's not what we're talking about in terms of enterprise. Yes, there's impact investment, impact enterprise and all of that. But at the end of the day, in order for it to be a sustainable enterprise, it must have the ability to generate profit. Now, the level of profit you choose to take, or the tenor or the weight that you're willing to have in order to take your profit would depend on what your social mindset is in terms of using that idea to solve societal problems. So as an entrepreneur, you start from the ideation level when you're thinking of what is the idea that you want to build into a business. What is the problem that your idea is solving? And in solving that problem, are there enough people who are willing to pay for that problem to be solved for them on a sustainable manner? then what are the resources that you require? You would normally have to do like a SWOT test, you know, a test of your idea, test the strengths of the idea, test the weaknesses of the idea, test the opportunities that the idea present, test the threats to that idea. Now, the weaknesses and the threats are not a problem. The reason is important to highlight or to identify what the weaknesses are and what the threats are is so that you can mitigate those threats and those weaknesses. And by going through that process, you're able to determine if the idea is only good enough for you to execute amongst your friends and therefore is something you do, it's not a business because it's not viable on the long term, or it's not viable in the form that you're willing to do it, or it's not viable in the location where you exist, and you need a different kind of environment, a different kind of location, a different kind of resource base for you to be able to execute it. And sometimes the ideas are ahead of their time, which means you have a great idea, but the market isn't ready for it. You must also be able to guess, to check that and determine that the idea you have now, it's in its time and its season in order for you to be able to move forward with it. And one of the first things you should do when you identify the idea that you are passionate about and you're willing to run with is you must have a proof of concept. How do you have a proof of concept? Which means you must try out that idea, execute it in a way that you can manage. Now, as a Christian university, I'm sure that learning a bit of the Word of God and how it affects your life would have formed a part of your curriculum one way or the other. The Bible says that we should not despise the days of humble beginnings. That's a critical key factor in business, especially when you need to have your proof of concept. Why is that important? Because, you know, one wise thing for you to do when you have a great idea is you must write a business plan. The business plan allows you to write all the related factors, to bring all the issues down on paper. As you write things down on paper, it becomes clear. As the Bible says, write it down upon the tablet. You know, as you write it down upon the tablet, it becomes clearer. And even if the time and the season has not come, its time and its season will come. And when you get there, you will know. But even more importantly is, when you're writing a business plan, okay, you make a lot of assumptions. You assume many things in writing a business plan. Every business always looks right and looks successful on paper. Every business plan tells you that a business is going to make money one way or the other because it's about a lot of assumptions. Now, when you apply the humble beginning rule and you do a proof of concept by having a small version of what you're trying to do, as you execute that, the assumptions that are wrong will become clear. And you would see the changes that you need to make. And if the errors are quite fundamental to the business, the cost of change will be much lower because the scale of execution is much smaller. But if you run with an idea just because you have resources, your parents have money, your uncle has money, there's grants available, and you take it and you just set up this big thing based on all of your assumptions. If for any reason there's a fundamental error in your assumption, you will not succeed with it and you will be discouraged. Now, doesn't mean the idea is bad. It just means there's some things that you got wrong in your interpretation of the idea that you have. But if you tried it small and you're able to correct it at a lower cost, then you're more encouraged to make the necessary amendment and move forward with the business rather than to incur a large cost, assuming you've bought all this big machinery and all of that. And meanwhile, the machinery is set to produce something in a format that you found out in your execution is not the actual format in which the customer wants it. So all of these factors are important, which is why in trying to build a business in whatever field, whether it's agriculture, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's in services, whatever kind of field you want to build yourself in as an entrepreneur, you must be focused, you must be diligent, and you must patiently build in stages. If you build stage 1 and you make amendments, you can grow to another stage and adjust your factors of production and your factors of services within that new stage, make the necessary corrections, and growing in stages, I believe, is a better. As an entrepreneur of almost 32 years, I have seen the value of growing in stages rather than just jumping, because at every stage of growth, there are new challenges. There are new issues that you need to contend with. There are new issues that you need to deal with. There are new adjustments you need to make within the business, and all of those factors will come into play. So you need to be humble. You need to be patient. You need to do your homework. You need to apply yourself to all the information that is necessary. You know, the Bible says, having done all, stand. Whatever idea you have, no matter how excited you are about it, make sure you do your homework well. Get all the information that you need so that you can avoid blind spots. In many other cases as well, tutelage is a good thing. If you want to function in a particular industry and you know that you don't know everything, because there are tricks of every trade, there are secrets of every industry and every sector. There's nothing wrong with going to understudy someone in a similar type industry or an industry that will afford you the opportunity to learn. You know, go and work there for some time. Work for 6 months, work for 1 year. Volunteer in a place where the knowledge that you think that you need will be available to you. And go and get that knowledge and the network. Because the other thing is, when you work in a place within an industry where you want to play, you will meet other people within the same field, and you will learn some lessons from them that is not written in any book, that is based on the industry and how the industry functions, or the secrets of the industry that you do not know. One other thing, in terms of trying to get resources for the business, is your time and your season. You have to learn partnerships. You have to learn how to combine your knowledge, your skills, and your talent with those of others to work together. I know that historically you hear around here that, oh, no, partnerships are always end up in trouble. No. It's about, if you don't do your homework from the onset, before you become a partner with anybody in terms of enterprise, no matter what the industry is, be sure that you want exactly the same things, because the fact that you both want to set up a business doesn't mean you both want the same thing from the business. So you need to have a clear conversation about what each of you wants from the business. Talk about your short-term goals. Talk about your long-term goals. Talk about your medium-term goals. Talk about how you would like to disengage if you need to disengage. Talk about any time you have disagreements. Who are those that will be your arbitrators? Who are the people that you will go to talk to? If you're both Christians and you want to pay tithe from your business, where are you going to pay it into? My church, your church? You know, there are many things that if you take the time, what I always say to people is, take a notepad each. Let each person write down what they want out of the business. And then both of you sit down and with a clean sheet of paper by your side, discuss each point in each person's note. Discuss it until you reach an agreement. When you've reached an agreement together, write it down. That becomes first term of reference in your agreement. And you continue that conversation until you have all your points that you both agree on, or that you all agree with, and you can use that to set up your partnership agreement or your partnership contract or whatever. And the fact that you're both partners does not mean you will not have leadership within the business. You can both not be MDs of the company, you know, and it doesn't matter if one is MD, one is executive director. It doesn't make you less. If you both own 50% of the business, if you do, then it's about who has the right nature. The more market-facing person, the person who has the better sales skills, the person who has the better skills to engage with people, the person who likes to be around customers and has better skills to develop business. That's more the person that would be in like the managing director or the CEO role. The other person who is probably more technical, able to manage production or more technical things, is probably going to be director of production, executive director, this or that. identify the roles by the value you can bring to the table, but it doesn't change the fact that you could be equal shareholders, and you might not be equal shareholders because you haven't brought the same cash into the business in whatever form. So there are many considerations that you should have, and find the right kind of counselors and those that will guide your interactions with each other in a way that you can have a successful partnership. Speaking specifically to agriculture, it's important to realize that agriculture is not necessarily farming. It's an industry, and it has a value chain. And there are multiple areas of engagement within the agricultural value chain that you, as a young graduate, can play in. The first thing to do is to seek complete understanding of what are the value chain opportunities that are available within agriculture. Farming is one side of it, but there are multiple stages of the process between the farm to the market. And there are multiple sectors and industries within the agro-allied entire industry that you can engage with. And every part of it does not involve the tilling of the land in various ways. So if you are a young Nigerian with interest in agriculture, it's important that you do your homework. It's important that you investigate. It's important that you find out where the opportunity. You know, now we have emergence of stores like all the Spars, all the ShopRites, and all of those multi-serve kind of stores will require different kind of engagement with providers who are able to provide value in different ways. Within our lifestyle are different opportunities for people to engage in the process of agriculture in a different way that they're able to deliver value to the market. A lot of you like chicken and chips. Okay. The chips part of it is what? Potatoes. All right. Does everybody want to buy the potato and peel it off and have to cut it and all of that? Especially think of the working woman who goes to work, works in Lagos, goes to work from 5 a.m. in the morning. She leaves home in order to get to work on time because of traffic, gets back home late because of traffic, wants to quickly be able to make food and all of that. What are those things between what she wants from the market or what she wants from the farm and the form in which she wants it that will create value and time savings for her in order to run her home? Where can you have an intervention where you can create additional value? What other part of farming are you able to get involved in? I don't want to suggest anything to you. I just know that if you are someone who is, because you should never get involved in any industry that you have no passion or interest in. But if you're someone who has passion and interest for agriculture, then get up and find out what is going on within the industry. There's a lot of activity within the agri value chain in Nigeria right now, and there are loads of opportunities where a lot of young people are engaging, and you will be shocked at what your end value is that you can take from these different parts of the value chain. But as you explore agriculture, it's the same way that you should explore every other industry. Within the fashion value chain, where can you intervene? Where can you create value? Where are the segments that you can specialize in that can serve multiple people within those industries? What are the service ends of agriculture, the service ends of fashion, the service ends of the entertainment industry? You know, you've probably heard about me being involved in the movie Citation of recent. And before then, I had been involved as executive producer with God Calling, the movie God Calling. And it really opened my eyes to the value chain of the movie industry. You know, from the outside, you watch all this Nollywood and all of that, and you take them for granted. You disrespect them. You don't realize how much value they're actually creating in running the business. Each production, how many different people are involved, taking care of different segments of the entire production, each being an independent entrepreneur, providing a service in the industry, from the person providing the food for all the crew, to the person providing the dressing or the costume and all of that, to the people in charge of the makeup, to those in charge of props on the set and all of that, to somebody managing. It was really a great eye-opener to see just how many different areas we have a chance to develop, and how many opportunities are there that people are not necessarily taking care of, which is why you cannot be arrogant about your degree. You have a good education, you have a good foundation, that will always serve you. Now explore what your exposure through your education and what your skills and your natural interest, what value can be created by bringing them together. Seek to look at new areas. Be open-minded. Do not box yourself, and do not become arrogant about the fact that, oh, I'm a graduate, I'm too big for this. When you apply your graduate experience of having gone to school with the opportunity that whatever opportunity you see presents, the way you will look at it will be different from the way an uneducated person will. And that is already value you have added to it. And that allows you to expand the scope of what you can do with it. Just know this, every problem you see in Nigeria that you complain about, that's a problem waiting for someone to solve it. That solution shouldn't have to come from outside. Nobody should have to come from somewhere else to take the value that is within our own economy at a time where we have so many people that are out of work looking for opportunities. It's for you to put on your thinking cap, to think critically about the issues that you see, to find how to engage the different factors of production together, to humbly learn from anyone that has the knowledge that you need in order for you to do what you need to do, and to combine that knowledge with your own opportunities and the knowledge and exposure that you have, and to bring all those factors together in order to make something of it. But to also be patient, knowing that Rome isn't built in a day, that your business will not necessarily work as you envisioned it on day one, that you would have some troubles and some trials, but so what? The Bible says in the world we will see troubles. So it didn't tell us, Jesus never told us that everything will be easy and hunky-dory. No, we would see challenges, but they build character. The trial of our faith, the Bible says it worketh patience in us. It will build character in you. And if you want to find a really successful business person, ask them about their experiences, not about their success. Ask them about the things that shaped them into who you see today and the successes that you celebrate in their lives. Ask them about the processes where they took their learnings from and how they responded to the challenges. Because the challenge is not the problem. That something doesn't work, that's not the problem. It's about how you respond to it. It's about how you react to it. It's about what you do after. The morning after the world says you failed at something, how do you respond? That's what makes the difference. That's what makes the winner. That's what makes a business person successful, because business is one of the landscapes where you are most tested and tried. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, just prepare your mind for the good times, the bad times, and the really challenging times. But none of them is bad for you. All of them combined together is what will make you the successful person that you will be. Be focused. You will need to be diligent. You will need to be flexible. You will need to be humble. You will need to know that even the least person around you might know more than what you think you do concerning that thing. Everybody has something they can offer you. Everybody has some level of knowledge they can share with you. So be open-minded and be humble. And at the end of the day, you'll be surprised at what you can do. One other thing, whilst you are trying to think of how best to apply your idea and how best to build it, start wherever you find yourself. Take whatever kind of opportunity to start. Start the process of learning. Start the process of engaging. And as you move in stages, you'll get there. Don't let anybody tell you something is too small for you, or something is beneath you, or something is not good enough for somebody of your status. Look, when you get to where you're going, those that laughed at you at the beginning will have to beg to laugh with you at the end. I wish all of you well. I wish you a successful life. You have a great future ahead of you. Nigeria can seem overwhelming many times, but know this, there are many people that have succeeded within this country despite the challenges that it presents. And without those challenges, there will be no opportunities for you and I. Things might not be working perfectly now, but you and I have the responsibility to invest in making things work better. So take on your civic responsibility, engage with the nation in your best, put your best foot forward in engaging with the nation. Protect it, because if it works for you. If Nigeria works, it works in your interest. Sometimes you'll be disappointed, but just know that every time you feel that, it just tells you there's more work to be done, and you're up to the task. May the Lord give each and every one of you the grace, the wisdom, and the understanding to excel in whatever it is that you have been called to, and that whatever it is that you desire and that you aspire to, that time and season will shape it right for you. That at the end of your days, you will finish well, more than anything else. And the journeys might not always work out as you think it should, but understand that life is an adventure. You live in stages. Enjoy each season of your life and celebrate your friends and the other people that you meet along the way. They might seem to be moving faster than you. Everybody has their time and their season. Your time is different from theirs. So wait for your own time, but keep applying yourself and doing your best at every season and every stage, and celebrate with those who are succeeding in their own time, so they will celebrate you too when you get to your own time. Treat people like they're important because they are. Don't undermine the people around you. Don't look down on anybody. Do the best you can to reach out and to lend a helping hand to other people. You never know where they would be along the path of your life, and they will be waiting for you to pay you back whichever way you have manifested yourself to them at the right time. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of your celebrations and of your graduation. I wish all the graduates well. I wish you a glorious and a successful life. And for every minute and every moment in your future, may you find God right there with you, leading you, telling you which way to go, whether to the left or to the right, that you may walk in it. I pray for your parents that every investment they have made in you will bring them joy, that their investment in you will not become a source of sorrow, that as children who fear God, you will honor them, you will respect them, and you will bring them reward for their investment in you. And God bless Redeemer's University in itself, that it will continue to move from glory to glory to glory, and that many more children shall be nurtured and trained through your walls, and they will all go into the world and make a difference and change the landscape of the world. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Wow, that was an amazing speech. Thank you, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. What are your thoughts on the theme of the convocation lecture, which is entrepreneurship, agriculture, and youth empowerment?
I believe that moving forward, everybody should, just keep in mind that there is more to life than a 9-to-5 job. Because I also had that same mentality, like I wanted to work in an office, earn big money, go on vacations. But you can actually do that with entrepreneurship and agriculture, and then, give back so you can empower the youth, basically.
That was well said, Sharon. That was well said. I would say that young people, please take responsibility for your nation, take responsibility for food security, empower yourself. You've all you got, make use of the wealth of information and resources available to you. And let's just go do this thing. Nigeria is counting on us. Bye for now.
Good day, everyone. You're welcome to the day 2 of the Redeemer'S University's Convocation. And this segment is called Styles and Colors of Run. We'll be talking about life in general in the Redeemer'S University, from food to transportation to basic amenities, sports, just general life in Redeemer'S University. My name is Gloria Delga. I'm an alumna of Redeemer'S University, and with me here I have current students of Redeemer'S University. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Abundance, and I'm a theatre student.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Adeboye Oluwapelumi, Mass Communication.
Nice to meet you.
And my name is Silas Godfrey. I'm also a theatre student.
Nice to meet you, Silas. So let's talk about food in Redeemer'S University. What's the food like in Redeemer'S University? In my time, it was pretty okay. We ate a lot of jollof rice. Is it still like that?
Rice. Rice is always there.
Rice is always there. Yeah. I think that's also normal in Nigeria. There will always be rice.
Not just one rice. We have 1K rice.
1K rice.
Arabian rice.
Arabian rice.
Yeah, man. And fried rice, white rice.
That's nice. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the food in Redeemer'S University?
7.
7.
Yeah, man.
I would say 6.
6? Why?
Okay.
To me, I would say 6 because I actually don't enjoy the rice every day. It's as if the taste differs. When you go to this cafeteria on Monday, you will taste a different rice. Go to the same cafeteria on Tuesday, you will taste a different rice. So you just be like, what's happening?
We have different restaurants.
It depends on the one you want to go to. Sometimes, Mana Palace is closer to the classes and the hostels. So when you don't have the strength to trek to Mimi's or National Kitchen, you just want to stop by at Mana Palace. And
there was one National Kitchen. They make very homely meal.
Yeah, one thing about National Kitchen, some of us when we get to school, we miss that taste of home food. So National Kitchen, they bring it to us, that home taste.
Yeah, but resting on his own point, I feel National Kitchen, they serve quality, nice food, and it's much. That's why people mostly, or students mostly, rush there to get their food.
So you pay little or more?
Yes.
You pay
quantity. You pay the same amount.
Oh,
but it comes in more large quantity.
So when you want to go out with, your friends to just chill, where do you tend to go to?
Mimi's.
That's the best.
Yeah, that's 13. Actually, I won't say Mimi's because if I'm going out with my friends, it depends on what we want to eat.
Okay.
We just decide to hang out, maybe eat suya and
suya.
Yeah. Suya is actually another
Who's suya? Where?
Peace Park.
Peace Park. Where is Peace Park? What is Peace Park?
Peace Park is another. I won't call it. A joint. I won't call it a restaurant.
Who owns Peace Court?
Peace Park.
Peace Park. Sorry.
School
owns.
Who are the people that sell things there?
Sometimes students, sometimes school.
Most of the outlets in Peace Park are owned by students.
That's one thing I like about Redeemer'S University. They always encourage entrepreneurs. Well, I'm a living testimony from that. So what else? Food.
Shawarma.
Chicken and chips. I remember I used to treat myself to chicken and chips on Sundays.
Yeah. You actually look like the chicken and chips type.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. So let's move to transportation. So when I got to Ede in 2014, it was a big deal. There were fewer buses, shuttles. You have to walk all the way from girls' hostel to school. It was bad. You can't wear white shoes or light-colored shoes. But towards my 200 level, 300 level, things got better. I remember one time Daddy Joe came, had to console us and encourage us that Redeemer'S University would be better. And when I was leaving, it was a lot better. So how is it now?
If you say a lot better, then if I'm to speak about it now, I have to look for an adjective that will be better than better.
Oh, thank God for that. So transportation is better now. Pricing, has it increased? Because it was 15 naira then per shot.
In fact, it is this year.
Really? 13 naira? That's really cheap.
And the buses are more.
Buses are more. Nice.
Even so, they've built terminals where students can wait for their buses, maybe after classes.
I think I need to come to once, feed my eyes.
We'll be expecting you.
Yeah, we'll be expecting you.
Okay, I'll come. Okay, so let's go to some basic amenities. How is light?
Lights. Why don't you talk about lights? You know, you are lights in color. Lights in the world. Lights of the world.
For lights, I'll say Redeemer'S University is really trying their possible best to give their students the best they can. Like, I know once there's lights in school, there's lights in the hostel. Once the hostel doesn't have lights, or maybe once the gen is off, once there's no light, immediately the gen turns on.
How quick does the gen come on?
2 minutes.
As fast as possible. ASAP.
Redeemer'S University is the best place to be.
You can say that again.
So there's always light.
I think they deserve Tony Bosa. Or should we save it for later?
Let's save it for them later.
So I know one thing I love about my school is the Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi in Redeemer'S University. Fast Wi-Fi.
Why are you looking at me? Okay, actually, the Wi-Fi is on point because, in fact, okay, let me talk about the lecturers. The lecturers, they will give us aggressive assignments because you know that when they ask for the assignment, we have no excuse. And most of the assignments are required that we use internet to do this. So when they want to ask for the assignment, they just come to us and shout, no excuse. You can't say you didn't have internet. There's Wi-Fi all around the school. If you are downloading movies, you won't tell me you forgot to do your assignment.
So you download movies?
We download movies. Let me just say just
Wi-Fi helps, like me now, I won't lie. It will be a time when you'll be broke. Like you don't have money to buy data. Just go to Wi-Fi spot, man. You can do what you want to do.
So when you're broke?
Where some students are broke.
So you didn't get No, he doesn't get broke. Is there Wi-Fi in the hostel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know in my time there used to be Wi-Fi, but I think they stopped it because students will now stay in school in the hostel and not go to class. So did they bring it back?
But just still there's Wi-Fi, but it doesn't reach blocks
so
that
there's
are
Wi-Fi in the hostel. It's something.
Yeah.
So health center. Mr. White.
Wow.
Tell us about health center.
For the health center, it's another comfy place. Even though you are sick, you will get better as fast as possible because of the enjoyment. Yes.
Yes, sometimes I might not even fall sick. I just want to go there.
And I just want to go there and enjoy myself. You get like, okay, there's some students that just, let's say, they just have headache.
They go to health.
Just go to health center because it's quiet.
And you have enough rest.
Yeah.
AC,
Wi-Fi, as we see.
There's Wi-Fi in health center.
There's Wi-Fi in health center.
Redeemer'S University.
In fact, it's as if Redeemer'S University has to have Wi-Fi to their name. Like Wi-Fi is virtually everywhere. Redeemer'S University Wi-Fi.
So how are the classrooms?
Wow. Top notch. In fact, the top notch should come with capital letter.
Yeah.
Top notch, okay.
Why? That is one reason I love Redeemer'S University. They give good comfortability for their students. Yeah. The classroom is well equipped. TV, Samsung televisions, the chairs, comfortable.
And I remember we used the TV for presentations. You can just swipe.
Yes, we still use it for that.
It comes with an attitude. Next.
That's true.
And it's
I remember MLT.
Yeah.
One thing again about the benches, like is it bench or the chairs?
Okay.
One thing about Redeemer'S University, once they see that like maybe there's fault or start getting
it
they
is
remove
repaired.
everything and bring out.
So they're very good with maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring new ones.
Oh, that's nice. So what else about the classrooms? How is the ventilation?
Windows everywhere. Fans are working.
The fans, they go
Hope you don't
aggressively.
sleep off.
Silas.
Not me, actually.
There's even Wi-Fi in class.
There's Wi-Fi in
there's
class.
Wi-Fi in class.
No classes.
We get to
Wi-Fi.
chip in that during the...
That's so nice. That's so
There's
nice.
virtually Wi-Fi everywhere.
Wi-Fi everywhere.
So as you're coming to Redeemer'S University,
Everywhere
Wi-Fi
you
will
go.
come. I have a friend that usually say when she does not have data and she does go to school, she does a tin Wi-Fi.
Wait, I just remembered something. We didn't talk about Redeemer'S University donuts. And their bread.
I can see you are really missing Redeemer'S University. It's okay. Tell us the truth.
I am actually. I miss Redeemer'S University. I miss my school. I miss the whole ambience. I miss going to class. I miss rushing to shuttle. I miss eating hot donuts and hot Manor Palace bread.
Rushing out on Sunday.
Sunday meals.
Wow. The Sunday specials.
Sunday
Sunday specials.
That's the word.
Salad, chicken.
Come to Redeemer'S University. So I heard there's a radio station in Redeemer'S University. Please tell me about it.
I feel you're a mass comm student, so you
The
should
best person
help
to
us
answer
on
this
this.
question.
Yeah. The radio station in Redeemer'S University is like the coverage, the whole Osun State.
The whole of Osun State.
Yeah.
Wow.
And majorly run by students. Yeah. And the studio, like now, students can, I don't know how to put it, like they can tune in to what is going on in the specific program that everybody likes, like maybe gist, so we can just hear.
And that would be a good way to encourage OAPs, people that are going to broadcast.
And I feel it is also another way of passing information to students easier. You get, because normally if you want to like pass messages to students, sometimes we use WhatsApp stories, IG stories, Twitter stories. But now I feel since the radio station has been standby, it's also like
and it also helps to keep us up to date.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really nice. So what else? Like, as a student of Redeemer'S University, what would you say you love the most? Mr. White, let's start from you.
I love Redeemer'S University in the whole, to be very honest. I love the fact that they give their students the best comfortability they can at their dispense. For example, take a look at the hostels. Well equipped. You have your bunks to yourself. You have your reading table to yourself, 2 in a room. As for me, I don't know about them. I feel Redeemer'S University has like one of the best.
Which one is that for you? As for us,
As for us,
I usually argue with my friends from other schools that Redeemer'S University has the best accommodation in Nigeria.
That's true. Other schools you can see like
because they're
six
just 2 in a room.
6 in a room.
To your toilet and your bathroom. You have your space.
The privacy.
So nice. God, I miss you. And then you remember when they brought the bunks, your bed is up, your wardrobe.
No stress. Just chilling.
So, Kalu, what's the best thing for you?
I have 2 things actually. Even though Redeemer'S University is sports.
Tell us about sports. What's sports like in Redeemer'S University?
Sports is very, very. I'm actually a sport person, so I
That's
really
nice.
love sports. And as I am now, sport has given me an advantage. It gives people advantage.
How?
Like now, there's this competition we go for, Nigerian Private University Games Association, where we go to compete with other private universities in Nigeria. So like others, I don't know if other schools do it, but our own school, once you win a medal for the school, if you win a gold medal, you get 100% scholarship.
Yes, I remember.
If you win silver, you get 70%. If you win bronze, you get 50%.
Wow, that's a lot.
So it helps. It really helped me in 100 level. I didn't pay in 200 level at all.
Wow.
I got the 300.
You didn't pay anything?
I didn't pay.
That's really nice.
Another thing again is the pastor's pastor's discount.
Yeah.
The discount from children that their
So they give
parents are
scholarships
pastors, they give them
to pastors' children.
Members, full-time pastors, part-time pastors, they give them scholarships. Yeah.
That's really nice. For me, one thing I love the most about Redeemer'S University is how much they encourage the entrepreneurship spirit in their students. I run a business now, and I learned in school. You know that course we do in 200 level?
Yeah,
the entrepreneurship course. So I did leather works, and since then, I started making shoes in school.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Nice.
And I went all the way. There's room for expression. I think it's time to give Redeemer'S University that Gosaipa I'm talking about.
Ready? Let's just do ready, Gosa. Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
There's no need for countdown.
Gosa.
Thank you very much. So, what do you like about what's the best thing?
I wouldn't want it to be like I'm saying what they've already said, but I think they've actually said the key things I wanted to say, which is number one, surely you would love Redeemer'S University in a whole, like everything about the school,
the whole
surely.
package.
And then looking at the accommodation, wow, it's really, really top notch. The rooms, having just 2 participants in a room, the bunk is well comfortable. You have your table, your wardrobe, the ladder to climb. It's really, really impressive. And then looking at the fact that the school gives opportunity to everyone that has 1 or 2 words that wants to come to the school to have an opportunity to at least, because we know that it doesn't happen everywhere. Some schools don't have that kind of scheme. But I also heard that when you have more than 1 word, they're also giving a discount.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a member of Redeemed Christian Church of God, pastor, and that's that's really, really very impressive. Like I think I should even give them another boost after that because it's very, 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 very important. Looking at the way things are right now, and we know that it's going to be very encouraging.
They allow you to split your fees.
Yes.
I think you pay 60-40.
Some schools they don't allow you to enter without, like, you have to pay everything.
But in Redeemer'S University, it's
They
different.
split it.
You can split it. I think 60-40, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
40, 60, 40 again.
40-60. That's nice.
Very impressive.
That's really, really nice. So what's fashion like in Redeemer'S University?
Abundance. I think you should lead the way in this.
Why?
Modella. Why you guys is that? It's our model in the making. Or should I remove the making? Our model.
Of fashion.
What's fashion like?
For me, I don't know. As for others, I don't know. But for me, I feel fashion. Fashion in Redeemer'S University.
Is there freedom of expression?
Yes, there's freedom of expression when you abide to the rules.
Because I know people complain that in private schools you guys stereotype, you only wear skirt, you only wear...
Yeah.
So is there freedom of expression? Can you be fashionable? Like, can you express yourself?
Yeah, I feel you can, but you have to do that decently.
Yeah,
decent.
That's the word.
You have to wear tie.
Yeah, you have to wear
tie.
Talking.
But one thing, I really like the whole corporate vibe. I liked it. Like, I liked the way...
I love the corporate vibe.
Actually,
that's if I'm always going to work.
Corporate, If you look at it,
you even get used to it when you graduate.
Yeah, you see, so...
Decent.
You look decent.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution. And I would just like to say that Redeemer'S University is one of the best things that has happened to me Like some of the things that seemed like there were strict rules, now I can relate to them. I can relate to them, like dressing corporate, being confident. Like from the presentations we do in class, it helps you to be able to express yourself when you're outside there. I just really love Redeemer'S University, and I'm glad I went to Redeemer'S University. Thank you very much for joining us today. Enjoy the other segments of the program. Thank you.